When considering the nature of reality and existence in totality, we come up with a number of dilemmas and conundrums and seeming paradoxes. If the universe was created by a being, what created that being? Or is the universe either is or is not infinite, but we can't tell, and the rules might be completely different depending on whether it is or isn't, but we can't tell. If it is infinite, how can it have a start, right? There's all kinds of these, like, we either obviously don't understand how to think about it, or something's quirky with the design of the universe, the nature of it. And I'm becoming more and more convinced that at least the experience that I'm having, I cannot speak for anybody else. I cannot even speak to whether or not anybody else actually exists outside of hallucinations that my mind presents to me. And I'm not saying this because I'm psychotic. I'm saying this because it's a philosophical truth. You cannot prove anything beyond your own sensory perception. That which you can see and whatnot can be tricked, and outside of your central nervous system and what it's able to physically detect, you can't really prove anything else is real. You have to trust your senses in some capacity. So in the proposition that of all conscious minds ever to exist, the overwhelming probability is that most of them are simulated due to the expected nature of development of consciousness, civilization, technology, etc. Eventually, the simulation occurs and then we simulate our ancestors so we can go visit them or something, which really I think is more of an observation thing than a visit them thing. But in any simulated universe contained within a real universe, at this point it stands to reason that that universe must have cut corners. I've spoken on cut corner universes in the past. Dark matter appears to be one of the clearest indicators of cut corners in the physics of our cosmology of our universe, and as such it may taint everything up to and including any conscious life that may evolve within that universe, leading to questions to do with things like, if the universe that is simulating our universe is a real universe and theirs has different rules but they have to cut corners to make it work, then does not their universe also have cut corners? Questions about whether anything they can gain from this simulation would be valid, just like whether or not any information we can gain from a simulation that we create could be valid, because we have to considerably cut corners for processing reasons to be able to get a coherent simulation of any sort within a reasonable amount of time because of the amount of computation it requires. It could be one of those things where our simulated universe is too many simulations deep, and so the quantum computers won't work right because too many corners have been cut. And then we have to cut some kind of corners for it to work, which means that the universe creating us as a simulation would have to cut our corners. So then you have questions and dilemmas like, wait, so what's God? So there's a lot of stuff about the nature of reality. It either is real or it isn't real. And either way, there are indications of some kind of guiding higher power, whether it is actually more to do with running the simulation and governing the simulation as opposed to rules from morality or whatever. Or the other thing could be that we, in all of our lifetimes, or just even the experience that I'm having and everything else being a hallucination, could all itself be just part of fart in a skillet moment of a single synapse of a molecular cloud that's buzzed over by a spontaneously shifting black hole jet, causing momentary alignment of particles that resembles the imprint of a consciousness as like a save state of some sort. And what it experiences is completely fictitious, but it exists as a snapshot memory of an existing being that does exist somewhere else, a pure simulation randomly out in space. And it's possible that our universe is one of those, and it's possible that whatever God is could be one of those too. So maybe simulation is not right either. Maybe simulacrum is right, because a save state brain state of a consciousness contained within some little finite field of not even as many molecules as there are brain cells in a human brain, because this is a lot more dense material here. If such a thing were to occur, it could very well be an inferior simulacrum, which would be a pretty hellish experience for the consciousness. It really makes me wonder, though. Like, they keep saying that there's like a whole bunch of circumstantial evidence of the existence of dark matter. If we can just get it all put together, we can see what it's supposed to be. And it's like, okay, so you've got something that interacts only through one fundamental aspect of physics and nothing else. And it's nearly impossible to detect, but you can see what you think is its effect. And it's like, is not that also maybe the description is something that is operating outside of our universe, influencing from within? The cut corners of not really being able to get gravity to work without a full universe, because if it's a finite or infinite, regardless, it's all gravitationally intertwined in ways that a simulation could not predict without having comprehensive understanding of all of existence and creation already. That's a dilemma unto itself. So I guess what I'm getting at is I'm not sure anything matters. And I'm not saying that in like a giving up, despair kind of way. I'm just saying like I don't know if anything matters. The things that seem most immediate could also be part of a bizarro holographic hallucination of the universe unto itself. Or it could be that everything that is happening to us is 100% real, and it's a natural psychological reaction to have an impression that reality just ain't real at the moment because it's easier to navigate. But whatever the hell the show that we're all stuck in this world, and the plot line of whatever the hell is going on right now is obviously on rails. Nothing any of us say or do about it is probably going to affect it. So, I don't know. But I just had it was in watching a science video and just being reminded of the apparent simulated nature of reality. Not that I believe that we are living in a simulation, but you can't prove that reality is real. Go ahead and try. You can't prove that reality is real. Talk to any expert, any scientist, anything else. You talk about the fundamental, deepest aspects of reality, and they'll be like, yeah, shit's pretty unreal, actually. It's weird. Really weird. So, anyways, yeah, as is typical this time of year, I have interesting thoughts and some pretty bizarre dreams. If I am able to remember them when I wake up and have time, I will document them. Otherwise, I got things I got to take care of as well. But it's been a different week. My day off has shifted, but it's okay. And hopefully tomorrow I'm going to be able to diagnose and or get repair on a vehicle so that it would not cost a shitload of money and have other future problems that follow. Hopefully. I have no sage wisdom to offer. I have no advice. Consider the possibility that you, viewer, yourself, might just be a Boltzmann brain floating in space. Or somebody's ancestor simulation. And what are you doing? What are you doing in it, with it, about it? Being your life, what are you doing? Are you an ancestor worth revisiting, worth seeing? Or are you an ancestor in the background that is just some moving silhouette through an animation of the evolution of your present state, whoever the person visiting it is? Or for whatever other reason one would ever feel the need to recreate their ancestors. As far as I can tell, I am nobody's ancestor. So, it's not an ancestor simulation in my case. Could just be a Boltzmann brain.